G'day, today we're going to continue on playing the DLC for Fly Corp, Discover All States mode. I'm just going to open it from the menu because I don't think that we're going to survive this. So we're 23% through, and I thought we were doing pretty well in this other one. But look behind the curtain on the way that I film these is once I film the half an hour, I will save, and it gives me that little buffer that if I do something that fails it, then we can go back to this point and I can delete the video and I can start again. This is probably day 3 of my attempt of doing this, and this is probably filming it session attempt 10, 15 from this point. So to get Kentucky to look like this to begin with, it took me about 5 attempts. I did have another attempt that I showed in the first video to get where I sort of got to a point and I had to build back. And here, I don't think that this is set up in a way that we can actually make it. The question then is, do I think that the problem is the game, or do I think that the problem is me? And at this point, I'm going to say I think the game, similar to the first time that I ever played Discover All Countries mode, I'm not sure this is beatable at the moment. The other thing that leads me towards that is that if I fail this, it tells me my best score is the score that I got, I think, previously, and I had probably 2 more states than this, and that's good enough for 110th in the world. So a score that is 25% of the country is good enough to almost break the top 100. I don't think this is currently winnable. Problems, places like Frankfurt, just sort of overwhelming. Columbus is just continuing to go. Now, I understand that Columbus is a problem because of my design. In part, the problem's I think, the idea of what I'm trying to do is a spoken wheel approach. And what you can see between Frankfurt, Charleston, and Columbus, and Indianapolis is perfect. If you need to get from Columbus to Frankfurt, that's not Frankfurt, Louisville, sorry, you go across this way. So, it's not Indianapolis that's having to take the bulk. It's not a bottleneck that's meaning that both of those have to sort that out. So the problem is when we get to these points, that you look at this, we've got a line that's shooting out this way, we've got a line that's shooting out that way, and one that's shooting out that way. We don't have Virginia, so I can't connect Harrisburg to Charleston, Pittsburgh, and sort of get them to sort of work as a grid here too. So if you're coming from Nashville, you can cut across without having to go through Columbus. Everyone has to go through Pittsburgh. It's sort of this problem that's happening that seemingly, because we're not getting any small cities, in just bad luck really, because we're not getting small cities, I'm not having a moment where I can sort of go great, we've got the District of Columbia, we've got Delaware, we've already got Maryland, so we can just do these really short little routes, and what we've gained is 6 minutes. Instead, what we're doing is we're just getting further and further away. We've now got New York is our next one. We're going to have to up Patterson, because I imagine that's what Harrisburg's unhappy about. Problem is that plane's coming from the other end. We're basically just permanently watching Columbus here, because we need the money that we're currently making to open New York, not fix Columbus. But let's have a look at who our complaint is there. Grand Rapids, so it's north, right? It's up here. Yeah, so it's this route here that's currently our problem. To get another plane in there would cost us 400. What we're going to do is, I'm trying to do this on the cheap, and the worst plane that I could choose, the one currently going away, is the guy that I'm going to have try and come in and just pick up way larger groups. So I feel like I've done fairly different approaches on this, and like I said, this is probably attempt 10 of trying to get this. All of them go for about 10 minutes. And then the whole network just starts to get worse and worse. And you can see here, this guy's going to land on top of that guy. So Detroit's about to have a little rude awakening too. But luckily, it seems to be handling this okay at the moment. It's not so much people going away. Now, Albany to Harrisburg, I think, is the connection that we need. We're going to go that way with this one. The other problem that we have is that if I say got just cleared out, it is still Patterson that is being a crazy little problem there. We also just got Buffalo, so now we've also got another 250. Columbus still, I mean, like, as long as it's just as that plane's leaving, it makes me feel like Columbus is a little bit more on the road to recovery. Yeah, the other problem is that because we're getting big states, I currently have to, like, say, we just got New York, and, like, great news, we've got Texas next, so, like, it's not getting any easier. If we got Maryland, we set up Baltimore, and then we got Washington, and we got Delaware, all of that just connects to Baltimore. Potentially just connects to Harrisburg, because even then it's actually not that far away for them all just to be spokes. But the problem is that we're not getting that. We're not getting these small little ones. The game doesn't start in a point where you're surrounded by little ones. Like, if this game started in Maryland or started in West Virginia, which I suppose is only one state across, these are all the little cities here, like little states, that would give us a hope. And don't have them. Patterson is still going crazy. I've got to imagine that because Patterson's sort of where one of the airports is over that way, right? So we're going to get Buffalo in here. The other problem that happens, because we're sort of going so slow to fix anything, is that we've got 5 minutes. So we've got 6 minutes. We open up New York. We spend all of our money because we've just made it to open New York. So we go back to 0. Then what happens is we open up New York and we have to spend a huge amount of money to get Albany built efficiently. And it's not. It's 2 50-seat planes going a pretty far distance. And then we also get a second city in that's close to nothing as well. So now we've spent another bunch of money, also nowhere near efficient enough for the problems it's going to have. So we've got Patterson just, like, beating us down. But surely that's not going to... What way did we build it? We built it the other way. So we can't fix that by... I'll fix that by adding another plane for Patterson. So annoyingly, I should have spent the money to upgrade Patterson because Harrisburg's now had to get upgraded, and all that's going to do is just sort of slow down the problem. We've then got a second city in there that now has the exact same problem where I have to build out to it. Pittsburgh's now going to get problems because, assumingly, Buffalo is going to have more attention than just 2 20-seat planes going back and forth. But so far, so good. So you can see now we've got problems with... Pittsburgh, because we've got more people trying to go to the east, and that is a bottleneck. So everyone has to go through Pittsburgh to get there. It's a nightmare little route too. They're not going to make that. Columbus is still permanently going to be a problem until we can build some, like, little workarounds for it. Mansfield is the one that's currently causing it the most problems. Let's just give Mansfield a second little plane, just to try and clear out the top problem for him. But as I was saying, sorry, so we've got... I spent all my money to open the state. We then have to spend all our money sort of getting those 2. Then we spend money just fixing the network because it's slowly, like, getting worse anyway. Columbus is still just constantly complaining about everything. To Youngstown. Right, so it's now this route that is its problem. Got no choice but to have to spend again. So we're now down to... So we haven't improved the infrastructure at all. All we've done is we've done a little bit of damage control of having to upgrade cities, which doesn't help the problem. That's a band-aid on the problem because it's going to get more people grow and grow because we haven't fixed the issue of the problem being there. And at the same time, we've done nothing to improve infrastructure. Like, you know, it would be great if we had a line running from here to there. We could just cut off Detroit having to go through Columbus, and possibly we help out Pittsburgh a bit. We could also run across here and then run from Buffalo to Harrisburg as well. Like, we can make that like a little bit of the grid just along the top. We can't afford it. We're now at a point where we've got save for Texas, and then guess what happens? Like, we've got Texas. We then spread all the way out to here. Like, it feels like there is going to be a point where this suddenly shifts, and at some point we get Maryland, and we get Delaware, and we get the District of Columbia, and we get Illinois, and we get these like all our guys at the top. And we can start to have like a little bit of a break on this. But it's like we've got to survive to that. And at the moment, I'm not confident that we've got that ability. I'm not fast forwarding this at all. We are going to play this just at pace because otherwise I think there's too much going on. This guy's actually done incredibly well. To the point that we're going to have to try and accommodate him getting there. Luckily, I built this line. Is that guy going to leave? Luckily, I built this line from Pittsburgh to Buffalo. So what I can do is I can just build a third plane and he can take it. Because that plane's going to be cost me less than that guy traveling will. And again, you can see we've already blown out that that time. Like we're Columbus is already at now 500 population problem. So we're going to try and do the same fix we did heading north. We can't afford to upgrade everyone, but maybe we can afford to upgrade one plane. And so he does chunks flowing that way. The problem is that now he's going to cause a problem for Pittsburgh. Harrisburg is then going to eat that problem. Great news is that because we got that celebrity, and I think that the celebrities are a huge part of this in having a chance of survival. And Columbus is still unhappy, even though we've had that guy just pull the 200 people out. Said if we shift everyone this way, it's then just going to be a problem for Pittsburgh. There are 3 planes on that one. Just got to see if Columbus can calm down. I mean, this guy's going to be moving faster, and you're going to see we're going to have 2 planes stack at the same time. It's actually really nice to see he's not red, which means that he's not throwing the same problem back at Columbus. We can afford Texas at this point, though. Whether we're okay for Columbus to do it, because I mean, I almost want to hold off on Texas until we can do it, because if I get enough money, we can connect Texas too. The other problem that we're going to have is when we get cities and we don't connect them. So say, for example, we get Dallas, a whole bunch of people are going to want to go to Dallas. And if we don't connect Dallas, then everywhere is just going to be sitting on people waiting to go to Dallas. And that's going to just get worse and worse until... who is even beeping Columbus again? And it's when our big mate comes and goes. We've got 10 seconds for Texas. So let's get them in. I think Dallas will show up pretty quickly, I hope. So we're just going to leave Austin for 15 seconds or so. Alright, talk to me, Louisville, about where your problem is. So it's south. So let's apply the same rule to this guy. I'm going to give him 1 busy plane out. He's still the same issue. Like, his problem is all going this way. We're now getting Nashville having the same issue on this route. So let's try and apply the same rule to him. Okay, I just heard a city come in. Who was that? Houston. Worse. Okay, so Houston can go to Jackson. It's going to be our little strategy here. But again, we don't have money to connect them. But everyone's got a problem. Every single person along the line has got a problem. This is all south. The problem is that everyone's got a problem. If I improve the line between Louisville and Nashville, then Nashville's going to have a problem. So I have to improve the line between Nashville and Memphis, and then Memphis is going to have the problem. Like, it just keeps going, and I still have to afford Houston and Austin connected to anything, because I'm also creating that other problem I said. If we go look at some of these guys, there we go. Austin's already got 1 person sitting there and just random thing on the far end of the network. It's the big guy coming in though, right? He's gonna send out. It's not even the big guy. Alright, who is Columbus's current problem? Youngstown still. Why is Youngstown such a problem for Columbus? Surely it shouldn't be just a particular city. Like, if anything, it's the one that can sort of get shifted. And Nashville, they're on 1-2. Can't afford to upgrade them. Who can we get out? So all of these are talking about going this way. It is Columbus to Pittsburgh, so we can build a plane on that side, and they can take 50 passengers out. But again, we're now back to no money, and these two guys are still just sitting here, unable to even connect to each other, getting more and more, like, flustered. So hopefully there's some internal travel for the two of these guys, that they mainly just want to go back and forth to each other. So that needs to go this way. This was also, by the way, I think almost the best I've had this go. It kills me to know that Maryland's next, that I could sort this out and the entire network, which is a problem, then we're good. But like I said, we're also now sitting on top of the time bomb that Austin is the top. Like, everyone wants to go to Austin and Houston. So the second that we open up the network, anyone wants to go to Kalamazoo, very specific. Everyone from Austin, this network that we've already got that's jammed, is about to get jammed because we are not connecting these two cities to the network. And that the spacing of that is rough. Like, knowing that all of this is just in here, it's just bad luck. I mean, that one could change on a single game. I'd need $200 to upgrade this, so I only need 60. The one thing that we could do is take a step backwards and just try and pay to get someone in there that we can make that much money on. It's not going to cause us too much of a problem. That could be Gary. We only need 60, so let's go Bloomington. Upgrade that to survive. No, they didn't even react out of the thing by 2 people. Just a side note too, if an airline has an issue, you just sell out tickets. Those 2 people don't get on a plane. I've not seen, like, one us get shut down because the plane was full. Anyway, that's a... I mean, obviously, I also understand games need mechanics. How many people are on that line? 2. How many people can... That's a Knoxville to Nashville line. So that would spawn a plane here. That's a Nashville to Louisville line, so we could put a plane on there for 400. That would cost us the same amount as that. That would also cost us 400. So the only solution that we have here is that we need a $400 plane going south. So let's just really cause Indianapolis to buckle here. I'm gonna buy that plane, and we're gonna upgrade. We bought the wrong one. It's in Memphis. What did I need? Nashville to Louisville? Bought the wrong plane. Cool. Alright, let's sell that guy. Gives us enough to make the guy exist, but it's only going to be enough to get 100 people out of there. A waste of money. So what we can do is we can grab one of those planes, sell that, and then upgrade that guy to 50 to just get... He didn't even take anyone with him. Cool. All right. Like I said, I've had about 10 cracks at that. The thing is, I think it's just bad luck, part of it. I think that if I had Maryland, Delaware, and Washington at that point, I would have a chance to try and build structure. But this attempt that I've had is just a failure. But like I said, that's from I would say the different attempts to build differently, like I showed in the first video in my previous save, and then at the second video of that, failing that over and over again to try and either restructure it or just survive in the build that gave me. Then that's starting the game over, I'd say 5 times or so to get the Kentucky cities close enough that I'm not just losing all my money because I'm getting really far out Kentucky cities, and then having enough to sort of survive to this point. And then this is at half an hour, saving that and attempting it 10 times or so and still failing it at that point. So it is, with my opinion, I'm saying that currently, unless you have incredible luck of the first 2 or 3 like random events give you money, if the states that you get are favorable, and and the celebrities that you get are going on relatively easy lines that complement the way that you've built your structure. Unless you're getting all of that luck, this is rough, and I would say currently impossible. But I'd said the same thing about Discover All Countries, and they shifted it at some point. So hopefully we're going to be back at some point, because otherwise this is just not fun. I mean, there's a certain level of difficulty where it is a great challenge and that little micromanage. And you could even see that for part of that, where it was just that really slow, all right, can we figure this out? But currently, I don't think that's winnable. Anyway, until any questions or comments, feel free to check them below. And until next time, catch you later. See ya.